Alright, so I got another motor to work on. This is a vintage, maybe even antique, Frigidaire Delco motor. I believe this would have been in an old Frigidaire refrigerator or some other refrigeration unit. It does run, but it needs some work. Something's up with the brush lifting mechanism back here, or whatever it has it on. I don't know if this is a brush lifting model or not, but it will, in the video on eBay, I got this off eBay. On the video on eBay, it showed it running and not like doing anything weird. I don't know if it'll do it here, but it would like kind of jump around, and I'm pretty sure the brushes weren't being taken out all the way, and I think it's because that brush lifting mechanism is kind of loose. So let's see what happens. It also makes some weird sounds. So I'm gonna plug it in my kilowatt meter and see what it says. .3 amps, and yeah, it's rated for 3.3 and it's running at 3.3. So first thing I'm gonna do is probably take this off. I want to look at the wiring under there. I haven't seen what condition it's in yet. I'm really fascinated by the condition of this motor. Usually when you find these, they've been repurposed for some crazy contraption that they're not made for, and you find them all rusted and banged up and brushes broken. But this one is in really nice condition. I'm pretty sure it's the original paint too. Okay, that looks interesting. And this is unplugged, so. Huh. Oh, okay. So I'm actually just gonna leave it like that for now. It's not as bad as I thought, but it's something I'll probably have to tend to in the future. One thing I really didn't like about these older motors is the fact that they use the longest lead wires for a terminal box that's like 1 by 3 inches, which is just outrageous. Because when those wires get stiff, it just becomes a whole problem. This is a Repulsion induction motor. It's a Repulsion induction motor. I don't know if it's brush lifting or not. I don't think it is. But kind of sounded like it was a brush lifting model, but I really don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to take this end bell off. This is probably the biggest motor I have. It's pretty big. What do I have to compare it to? This is a bottle of isopropyl alcohol. This is a 3-inch pulley. On my DeWalt impact. I thought my General Electric leader line compressor motor that I did a video on a while back would be bigger, but it's not, actually. I don't plan on restoring this motor just because it's in such nice condition and it's all original paint. Probably going to clean these up. They have some dust on them. I mean, I don't know what these nuts are for. They kind of feel like they're forced on there. They feel kind of like they're gummed up. But they're like these little, I don't know what material that is. They look weird. Those are on there. If anyone knows what those are for, let me know. Because I've never worked on a Frigidaire motor before. This is a 110 or 220 volt 1/6 horsepower 1740 RPM motor. Like I said, it's Repulsion induction, and it's not made by Frigidaire, it's made by Delco. And I kind of forgot about this, but I've never actually owned a Delco motor before. All the ones I've owned have been GE or Emerson, or gosh, a long time ago I had a Sunlight motor, which is technically still a Delco motor, but it was 2 or 3 years ago. I found a Sunlight motor in the shop, and I tried to use it off the battery, because technically with a Repulsion induction motor you should be able to run it off the battery until it kicks out of its starting phase, or so I thought, because most Sunlight motors from back then were Repulsion induction, I think. I don't remember what was going through my head, but I ended up getting rid of that motor because when I took it apart the windings would turn, but they weren't. It was some gum buildup, I guess, but yeah, I kind of regret it. It was just a complete lack of knowledge. Probably just use my impact. I also don't know if this pulley's original. I kind of imagine it is. Okay, let's see. I don't have a punch, I don't think. Get that off, so I'm just going to use the flathead to try not to damage the impact. I'm doing it to the back here. Oh, I haven't showed you this whole mechanism back here I don't know if you can see that. It's all just barely loose. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or not. There it goes. Like that. I don't really know what that is. Oh, it's going like that. Hang on. I think it goes on like that. Well, it looks fine. This is the end housing, which is actually super heavy. Well, I don't really know. Like I said, I've never worked on one of these, so I'm gonna go off camera real quick just to do an inspection, and I'll be back. Okay, so I got these tie rods cleaned up, and I hope that just by taking it apart and putting it back together, it solved that weird kind of issue. But it that brush mechanism back there, I looked at that inside plate, and I guess if these were to be loosened, it could probably move that brush plate, but I'm not sure about that. I don't really know. I don't know how that's supposed to be adjusted, or if it is adjustable. It might be locked to rotate one way, which I kind of doubt. I really don't want to go too tight on it yet, just because I don't want to risk stripping one of these bolts or nuts. This was shipped by UPS, and I kind of had that feeling that it was going to be broken. But luckily it wasn't. The packing material that was used in it was kind of thrown everywhere though. And according to the shipment details, this weighs just about 37 pounds, so pretty heavy. Oh, it actually spins more freely now. I don't know how long this was sitting on eBay for. It might have been sitting for a long time. I'm gonna go grab a different screwdriver. Right here. I think this one might work. That one's actually too big. main problem about leaving my motors up in here is they rust really fast. Like that 115 horsepower GE motor I was working on, I thought it was really not going to rust because I had left it up here and it didn't seem like it was going to start to rust. And then I wasn't in here for a couple days, and I came back and it was completely rusted. So I think that's because I hadn't actually been running the air conditioner, which is running right now, so it might be kind of hard to hear me. But everywhere that I used the wire wheel on my bench grinder with, everywhere I used the wire wheel now has a little coating of rust. It's not deep rust, it's just that annoying, kind of bad smelling surface rust. Might not be deep enough. I don't know what it is. I know this is just turning the bolt, but I hope these are more like even. Like that one's a little loose. So I'm gonna use my newly acquired 3-in-1 motor oil. Yes, I've just been using normal 3-in-1 oil, which is usually, I mean, since I'm not really using these motors for now, it's fine to a certain degree, but if I were to use it on a fan, I'm asking for trouble. But now I got some 3-in-1 motor oil, which I had no idea you could find at Lowe's until I was there. Probably hadn't been oiled in a long time. Come on. Actually, I want to see what this brush mechanism is about. So I'm just going to try to loosen these a little bit. On camera here? Yeah. And that's not doing anything. Kind of doubt it's supposed to move, but I don't know, it moved a little bit. Yeah, I'll just leave it. I just don't really like how that's loose back there. but I guess it's fine. I didn't actually see this before. Doesn't this look melted? Alright, I guess I'll plug it in and see what happens. 3, 2, 1. I don't know what that sound is. You know, this thing, I think this thing does have brush lifter. I'm gonna bring my camera down here, try not to have it turn off. I'm gonna turn another light on and see if it shows up on camera. Try to get it low here. I'm gonna turn on another light. Oh, that's perfect. I didn't think that'd work. I'm gonna turn it on. See that brush lifter just barely moves. Oh, and that is what's rattling. Huh. Don't really know what that's about. I'm probably going to look at its current draw again just to make sure it's not doing anything weird. .34. There now it went down. I thought when I was buying this, the video seemed like it didn't have brush lifters, but I guess it does. That's awesome. I still don't really like that, how that's jittering like that. Move the camera one at a time. I don't like that. Well, I don't know. Probably gonna put my camera back to where it was. That was like a little crank handle. Well, don't really know what to do now. I don't know how to make that brush mechanism tighter, because know I've said this a bunch, but I've never worked on one of these. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to work on one of these. I mean, what's funny is that the way that it's built is similar to their old, to the old Delco. I think it was like an old Chevy starter. I have one, and the windings on this are like the whole thing is bundled in cotton, not like individual wires are coated in cotton. The whole thing's wrapped in cotton. Some material. So is the stator of the Chevy starter that I have. It's also wrapped in cotton or whatever it is. I don't know. But I don't know. I'll figure it out one of these days. Figure out what's making that brush lifting mechanism shake like that. Something's off. Try and start up one more time. It seemed to, one of the times that I started it seemed to kind of clear up. I wonder if there's a way somehow to change the direction. I might make a part 2 of this if I feel like it, or if I find a way to make it stop doing that, but I guess that's going to do it for this video.